It's your man, Mr. Controversy. Did you miss me? Yes, we are back inside the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge. And of course, I am not doing it by myself. I don't know if y'all can hear me. As you can see, I got my guy to the right of me, my guy Rue. What up, Rue?
What's going on? What's going on?
How you feeling, bro?
Hey, I'm feeling good. Better than last week, man. I think I might had a case of that COVID last week, man.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, man. I wasn't well, come to find out I was around people who had it. So
Oh, what were your symptoms?
I didn't get the whole taste symptom though, but man, I was tired, bro. You saw me last week, man. I was drained. I wasn't really coughing, but hey,
yeah, it's not coughing. They say it's not. This stream is not, or this strain is not coughing. It's more so your joints aching. Of course, you're gonna be tired.
Yeah, man. I woke up like I felt like I did a whole. What's the exercise we used to do? Where you came 6 inches. I don't know if you know about that. You get in trouble at football.
Oh yeah. You got it. I know what you're talking about.
Your back and put your feet 6 inches in the air. A minute, bro. I felt like I had did something. But I woke up one morning like, oh, what's going on?
Man, that's crazy. I'm glad you cool, man. I hope you ain't spread it to no one else, man.
Probably.
But yeah.
No, I hope not.
But anyway, hey, welcome. We're glad to have you inside the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge. And man, we have a good show planned ahead. We have some fun ahead, but man, it's like this show, like it was named, man. It was like, yo, is this really happening? Like, did we really witness this? It was a crazy week in sports, man. Like from Thursday up until from the day after we finished the show up until today with news and everything, man. So definitely we got to get into it. First of all, man, we got to talk about, of course, the NFL week one. It was interesting week. I can say it like that, man. A lot of surprises, a lot of play that was, I don't know, just shocked us. You know what I'm saying? And not in a good way either. So we'll get into that. Plus, of course, we got college football. Another fun and good week with college football, man. It's so funny because it's early, but the truth is revealing, as you continue to watch. We're going to find out about the truth later on in the season, of course, these upcoming games, but still, it was crazy. And then MLB, man, we almost there for the playoffs, bro.
Yeah, it was right around the corner. That's what's really revealing, the team of the day. You sort of don't even want to watch because the effort's not there. But you could tell.
Yeah. When you start hearing that magic number is, you already know we getting close to playoff time, man. And so we got to talk about that, and then possible trades, and then we got to get into this news with the NBA, man. Like that was big, bro. As far as I'm talking about this new policy where they won't allow NBA teams to rest 2 superstars at a time. That's going to be interesting, man. So then we got quick hits, stop it, what's on my mind. So please let your family and friends know they can listen to the show live on the 3 Point Conversion Facebook page, also the 3pointconversion.com. That should be coming up as well. And then the 3 Point Conversion YouTube channel. Hey, man, it's time to get to these quick hits, bro.
Let's get it.
So first off, man, speaking of baseball, Texas Rangers ace pitcher Max Scherzer will be out for the remainder of the season and likely the playoffs. Woo, this is big, bro.
Yeah, it's huge. This team, man, since the beginning of this season, they had big aspirations, man, with big money pitchers, best of the best. It started with Jacob deGrom, man. So luck hasn't been on their side. Of course, he had the injury in the beginning of the year. Well, he's out for the season. It seems like all their pitchers. Nathan Eovaldi was pitching great to start the year. He got hurt. Then they tried to, go out. They didn't try. They went out and got Max Scherzer, who who he is, Hall of Fame pitcher. But he's getting into that age where you get into 40. Injury happened again, so he's out for the year. So even if they make the playoffs, he won't be back. So it's tough luck for them, man, because it's a team who can bat, but now their pitching is kind of starting to be a little shaky. So, and they have the worst bullpen in the last 60 days. So
yeah, that's not good. That's not good. See what happens, man. Fortunately, like you said, especially a team like that was getting to a groove, they made progress, and now they're here, and then you have that. So that's definitely not a good look for them. Moving on, sticking with baseball, the Washington Nationals reached multi-year extension with President of Baseball Operations, General Manager Mike Rizzo. I like this move, Rue. Because Washington, yes, they're not, they can't catch the Braves, but I mean, you started to see things start changing this year. Of course, we saw in the past, and you had injuries years back, a couple years ago. But I just like how they building this team, man. I like how they've been resilient.
Yeah, they have been resilient. They'll probably finish with 75 wins, close to 75 wins, and nobody saw that. With Soto leaving and Trey Turner and all that, just to rebuild. But he did give them a championship not too long ago. So we know it's in him. He's a winner, champion. So, I think he's just a good fit, probably. Especially what they did this year. They surprised a lot of people this year. They was only supposed to win like
games. 40, something like that. Yeah. And that's what I was saying. And then the Mets, in the same division, they hired who was it? David Stearns to be their was it president? Yeah, their president of baseball operations. I thought it was Screech at first from you probably too young to know who Screech is from Saved by the Bell. Yeah, I thought it was him at first when they showed him, but either or. So everybody trying to make moves, which I missed that in baseball. Usually you would see, like, if you see one team doing well, much better than the rest, everybody else is like kind of in that rebuild mode. Let's start over. But I just like, and Mets might do that. I don't know, but I just like the fact that, okay, let's get a new general manager. We want to compete. To me, I hadn't seen that in baseball in a long time. I know you a big fan, but you usually don't see that. So I think that's a good look, bro. And then, man, so we all know what happened to Aaron Rodgers, right? He ruptured his Achilles tendon.
4 plays in.
And shout out to Cortland Griffin, the 3-point conversion NFL reporter. He was the first one to say, man, he tore his Achilles. We were like, nah, they just say he good. They said, it came back negative. He's like, that just looks at the bone. He was like, he tore his Achilles. You could tell, by the way. Of course, he did. But NFLPA is calling for grass fields now. So they said forget the and it's not really AstroTurf. What is it? I don't even know what you call it now. But they want grass fields like it used to be. They're saying they kind of blaming Rodgers' injury on that, which I kind of think is far-fetched. But at the same time, I do miss the grass. Like, Rue, you don't know how it used to be back in the day. I'm sure you probably saw pictures. You might not have and you will never see this again, but NFL teams and MLB teams shared stadiums.
Right.
So beginning of the season, like I know it's a Robbie Joe Stadium for Miami, the Dolphins, and when the Marlins got a team, you saw with
the Twins and the Vikings used to
Twins and the Vikings. You saw with the 49ers. You saw with the I think it was the
Raiders, of course, and the A's for the longest.
Was it the Raiders?
Yeah,
yep.
Raiders and A's.
Raiders, yep. Raiders in charge, right? Until they moved to the Coliseum. But you saw them dirt fields. You saw the diamond, and I missed that, dog. That was football to me, but it was grass. You don't really have to worry about that. And it seemed like soon as they put in that AstroTurf, and late 80s, that's when you start seeing a lot of people tear their Achilles and ACLs and all of that. And so I don't know if that caused it. Because remember, he had been having problems with his calf for a minute now. That's what he last year.
Even in the offseason.
Yeah, even the offseason, right. Right. So yeah, I just think it was time, but they making a big fuss about it. They're like, no, we need to go back to grass. So we'll see if that happens. And then this is big. Ex NFL media journalist Jim Trotter used to be on NFL Network, sues the league alleging his contract was not renewed because he repeatedly voices concerns about racial and equality, injustice. So that was big, you know what I'm saying? And equity and justice, I should say, too, like as far as money wise, whatever. So he's saying that they didn't renew his contract. And he was good. Jim Trotter was a very good analyst. And he's like, yo, I'm suing the NFL. So are you surprised we don't see that as much now these days with the stance on equality and injustice and everything when it comes to the media?
I haven't heard it with media. This is probably one of the first time I've heard it from a media,
standpoint. But are you surprised though? Because think about it. Because when you've been to games, and the Hawks. Now the Hawks is we there. I salute the Atlanta Hawks. Where there, you see us there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to NFL, like still the Falcons they don't want to mess with us. I don't know why. But other teams, and you hear other people talking about this when other sports, and I think it's time we need to speak up. You know what I'm saying? So like I told him, I'm with him, man. I support him and everything. So see what happens with that. And then last but not least, Houston Rockets guard Kevin Porter Jr. allegedly attacked his girlfriend at a New York City hotel and left girlfriend with a fractured neck vertebrae and cuts under her eyes. And it's allegedly now, of course, And the thing now, what's crazy about this is the fact that you would think they said she came out the hotel room all bloody, and she said, her team saying he was chasing her and all that, and he didn't stop until she got out in the hotel hallway in the lobby, and then he kind of pulled back. But he fighting this. He said no, he didn't do it. So, and for her to have a vertebrae, fractured neck vertebrae, and she bloody, and he's saying no, this is.
Man, that man went through that girl phone, man.
Man,
girl's phone, man.
Look, all I gotta say is, I always say this: if he did it, he should get everything that's coming to him.
For sure.
But if she lying, she should get everything that's coming to her. But we don't know. So my whole point is, I just hope the right is right and the wrong is wrong. You know what I'm saying? I don't like it when it's.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen too many times where men do this, or women do this to other women, man, whoever, But then you see where, and I'm gonna just be real, you see where women lie about it. You know what I'm saying? So I just pray that and hope that whatever's right, it comes out in the light. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to freestyle, but that's all I hope, whatever. So yeah, man. So we'll see what happens with that. But that wraps up quick hits. Yo, man, let's get to this hot topic, man. And we've seen this too many times, Rue, in the NBA. You hear fans complain about it. Shout out to Damian Adams. He did a video on this as far as stars not playing when you go to you traveling on the road, or even you at home, but you traveling on the road, and it's the only chance to see a Steph Curry or LeBron James, and Anthony Davis and all that, and then both superstars are sitting down and resting. It's not they didn't got bold. It's not even we hurt or we nagging injuries. We're just resting. So the NBA said they're gonna crack down on this, and they the board of NBA, they approve and they approved this policy that says the NBA that you cannot rest two all-star players at the same time. And if you do, teams, not the players, but the teams will be fined $100,000 for the first offense, $200,000 and I said it like that, 250,000 for the second, and 1 million of them things for the next ones that happen after that. So the NBA is serious about this policy. But I want your thoughts. Like, bruh, do you think, or if this first, when you hear about it, what came through your mind? Or what goes through your mind?
So the first thing was Kawhi, my boy, him and PG, and the Clippers. That was the first thing that came to my mind because I've been following the Clippers heavily these past 3, and I've been saying that look, this team's gonna do it, this thing, but I feel like this is one of the reasons why they not prepared when it comes to the playoffs because they're doing this all season.
Right.
So that was the first thing that came to my mind was load management.
Right. But like, so when I hear it, I'm not gonna lie. The first thing is, can it work? But it's about time. Bro, it's about time that this happens, bro. Like I said, we've seen this too many times, man. I hate to be that get off my lawn type of guy, but I do remember once upon a time where NBA stars, and I'm not even gonna put this on the stars or whatever. I mean, NBA players or whatever, because it could be the team. But I remember when players wanted to play and would go fight their coach. You heard the stories about Jordan when they told him you got to rest this. He like, no, I want to play. And they had to put this rule in for him where, all right, you can only play this amount of minutes, but that's how it was. Like, these players wanted to play. It wasn't no sit down. Every game meant something to them. But then not only that, just for a fan base, you got to see them play. When they was coming to your town, you bought the tickets. You knew they were playing. That's just what it was. And like you said, when it first started with the load management, when it came to what Pop was the first one I remember, Pop was doing it. They were using it like crazy. Like you said, just like with Kawhi back then. And not even just with Kawhi. It was with Tim Duncan. Tony, remember, he would sit the whole team down, especially if it was a good team, just be like, I don't want to, let me chill. You know what I'm saying? I don't want them to see what we're going to do. And then everybody bought into it and it started happening. But now, like I said, it's good. I agree with Danny Thompson. I just think it was time for this to happen. It was time for it to at least try. Because a lot of people are saying, which brings me to the next thing, a lot of people are saying it can't work. It's not going to work. They could fake a nagging injury. Well, the NBA said they're making it hard for them to get by. Like, they really have to check the staff and all this. And I'm wondering if they're going to bring in, like, they're going to have NBA doctors or whatever, or, to be there and say, okay, or physicians be like, hey, I know your guy said this, but we're going to double check as well.
Yeah. And I also think what Dallas did at the end of the year, I know they probably don't have 2 stars, but I know you remember when they rested everybody when they still had a chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think this is also, Silver trying to come down on tanking a lot too, with draft picks and all that. So my question is, this is the real thing. I get it, and I know why they doing this, for the fans and just so it can be more competitive. But what happens when your team is not good and is late in the season? Because this when we usually see it late in the season. Yeah.
Like, do you think the NBA would be more lenient? Because you know how like the NFL would, and I know this is more of a rule, but like with the NFL, like the penalty of leading with your helmet, leading with the crown of your head. When I first came in, they enforced that like crazy. Even with offensively, you couldn't do it. You don't see it as much unless it's a crazy hit, and but you don't see it as much anymore. You know what I'm saying? So like, is it gonna be one of them things where it's like, all right, we getting lenient, all right, it's cool, or do you think it's gonna be like this the whole entire season?
I think it'll probably be like this, man. I think it'll probably be like this because I don't think they would have made this rule and implemented it so fast if they didn't, want to see the change. Because you don't have to rest them. I mean, I think teams are still going to find ways to rest their players if they play 20 minutes or 15. But I think the fact that they need to suit up You know, that's where it becomes a bad look when they're not suiting up in like street clothes. You got Charles Barkley talking about street clothes and stuff. I guess
Mhm.
that's sort of like a shun to the league. So I think teams will still find their way around to still rest the guys, of course, but they got to suit up. So
Here's the thing, though. Like you said earlier, of course, automatically you think of the Clippers,
yeah,
right? You think of them jokers always resting, whatever. And I don't think it was more of like we're just resting them because we're resting them. I mean, I really think when Kawhi, they're like Kawhi's hurt or he's not, you know, we
see,
need
I
to rest.
think different. I think different. I think they resting just to rest. Like it's too many games, bro. We need y'all for the playoffs.
Well, you know what? You're right. And it might be that because we know this joker might get hurt or he is nursing this, but I agree with that. Danny says there's loopholes, but the loopholes in it. Players have to play at least 20 minutes to count towards the 65 game mandatory awards.
Oh, that okay.
They put that in. Then I think Danny, they put that in like last year, a couple years ago, or whatever. But I think with this is more of like you said, it's just whether it's you resting them because you don't want them to get hurt, but that's still like a kind of a punk way to do it. Lakers, we see the Lakers do this a lot. LeBron always. So it'll probably be some games of LeBron rest. Because remember, it's not saying you can't rest your player. You just can't rest two players at a time. So you might see where, okay, one night we might rest LeBron and then the next night AD or Kawhi. And then, so it might be like that. And Danny says they did it to prevent the Drew Holiday incident, happen again. I remember that where he was, out, and then I think he got what was it, Danny? I forgot which award he got. I know he played 9 seconds to get a contract goal. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yep, I remember that, and it was like, yeah. So that can't help, But I think it's gonna. But Lakers and Clippers are the first teams I think of that do this. Pop is cool because Pop don't have any All-Stars on his team. And then remember, it's the superstars. Like they have to what's considered a star. Then they have to make the All-Star game. I think at least 3 times. I believe 3 times in 6 years or something like that. So it's it's not just what we deem as a star or because they have commercials. It depends on All-Star, first NBA team, or NBA team, I believe. But I know it's like something with the All-Star game. I mean, I think it's 3 All-Star games within 6 years, I believe. But we'll see, man. But before we go, I want to tap into this though. USA basketball. Bruh. First you lose to the German national team and then Canadian national team. And for the 3rd place you lose, which I was surprised that USA was winning anyway because the players that they picked, no offense to anyone, but that's why everybody was mad. Why when we talked about it, why wasn't Trey on there? Like, why would Trey? I think it would have been an insult to Trey if he was.
Yeah, when I started looking at the guys on the team, I'm like, yeah, it makes sense why Trey, because Trey's in that next tier anyway. Those
Right.
are the young guys.
And let me go back to that. Danny just put it in. It's only 50 players in this list, so you have to been in an NBA, All NBA, or make All-Star within the last 3 years. So yeah, so so we'll see. But yeah, but go ahead, go back to the USA. Yeah, you said it would have been an insult to Trey.
Yeah, because this was like the baby boomers right here, and you still got the Tatums and Treys of the world, and the next tier guys.
So do you think that the NBA was bogus for sending these guys there, or
no? Because I still think they had to. I mean, I might not agree with you, but I think they still had the talent to get it done. They didn't get any medal, I don't think, right? They didn't finish 3rd either.
No, they lost to 3rd place.
Yeah,
round.
that's the third,
Yeah,
right. So at least
third place. I
I
mean,
think
yeah,
they're talented enough to win it all, man. I mean, they let Dennis Schroeder and do what he wanted in that one game, and Canada's pretty stacked, but you can't let Dylan Brooks go for 39. I think no, did he go for like
yeah, he
39?
was 39. Yeah, yep.
Come on, man. Like, what are we doing here? Yeah,
But
that
that,
was
let- but that
frustrating.
let you know, to me, that's why basketball nowadays is, international basketball is so much different, even back in the day, because these guys that come to the NBA and they average 12 points a game or 15, it's different because they're playing different roles.
Mm,
Here, Dylan Brooks is not the main scorer. Dylan Brooks is not going to get 25 shots a game. Whereas in Canada, he might get that. He might be deemed that number one guy. So therefore, you can go ahead and get your points, and he might be good enough. It's not the role. Because think about it, how many guys we know that's played in college basketball that's been great in college basketball. As soon as they get to the NBA, then they, lack
yeah,
of better term,
JJ.
garbage.
Well, I want to say JJ Redick, but yeah,
But
we've seen that. We've
but
seen that.
something like a JJ Redick, we seen with I know this is past your head, this is talking to the old heads, but God, his name just slipped through my mind. God, I just had him. No. God, I can't think about it. I can't think of his
What
name.
school?
He went to was it Oklahoma State?
Mm.
He used to play for the Sacramento Kings. Danny, help me out. He went to
No.
God, I can't think of his name. But anyway, he was he averaged like 27 a game in college. And then when he came into the NBA, he wasn't that guy. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm not talking about Beasley.
no, this is back in the day. This is before you. But I'm saying you just had a lot of players like
Yeah.
that when you get to the NBA, now all of a sudden your role changes and you're not going to score that many points or what have you. You know, Dennis Rodman averaged like 20 some points a game. Dennis Rodman, and then he get in the NBA, it was all defense. So, it just happens like that. But LeBron saying he wants to come back and he said he wants to play now, avenge the USA, and he's going to get all the superheroes and try to get all the all-star players to play. Love Bronny, but do you think this is like, come on, man, you just trying to look like you that dude, or do you think he's serious about that? I mean, he could be because that's LeBron. That's his nature.
I definitely think he's serious. And I think he wants to put USA back on top, like how they did with the Redeem team. I think he feels that same kind of way. Like, we can't keep letting these international guys, beat us. So I think he's taking that approach as the leader. I think he's serious, and I'm all with it. I like it. I think he should get the guys. Shoot, I wish they could bring Melo back
Right,
for the Olympics. But that's cool, man. Because who would you want LeBron to do this? Yeah. So
I think it's a good look for the USA, man. But all right, bro. Well, that wraps up the hot topic, man, and we're gonna be right back. And it's time to talk college football, baby. We'll be right back.
It's Kalen DeLoach, linebacker.
This is Tyler Van Dyke. I play quarterback for the University of Miami.
What's going on? This is Shador Sanders. You're here listening to the 3-Point Conversion.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge, and Rue, hey man, you know how we do with college football, man. We got a nosy neighbor, man, and I need you to tell me what is your nosy neighbor this week.
Yeah, man. So my nosy neighbor for this week, college football week 3. I'm actually I'm not looking at any team or anything like that. I'm actually looking at somebody. And that's my preacher, my pastor. Yes, Dewey Smith. I'm looking at you this week, Betty. Because last week you was all in Colorado, all in Boulder. The whole weekend, my guy was chilling with Dion, walking out on the field. You probably saw him and didn't even know who he was. He was right next to Dion, man. Come to find out, I mean, he's well known. You ever heard of Dewey Smith? He's a well
Yeah.
So I didn't even know that's Dion's preacher. But this dude was.
You didn't know that? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I didn't know till last week. I'm like, I said I'm on Deion's page. I'm like, look, he's with Dewey. So then he tagged him. So I'm following Dewey all weekend. Like, I want to see how this gonna play out. Man, I'm talking about he was with Deion when he walked out the tunnel. He was with Deion after the game, holding on to Deion. Just everywhere with Deion, man, jumping in photos he shouldn't have been jumping in with Michael Irvin. I'm like, bro, you see a picture. So like if you see some dudes coming to take a picture, Michael Irvin, T.O., who else was in the picture? A bunch of athletes with Deion. If you're not an athlete, you probably need to step out the picture. You go see like a photo bomb or something. Like, you gonna have that person like, who's that? So no, I'm like, bro, you're having a good time in Boulder. But I will say this, Dewey, he came to church on Sunday, so I'll give him some credit. But he was there Sunday, but Saturday he was all in Boulder. But Sunday morning he was there. But I'm looking at Dewey this weekend because that Colorado train is taking off, man. You gotta be there. So I felt him. Yeah, that's my nosy neighbor, bro.
All right. My nosy neighbor, man. Believe it or not, it's Alabama. I want to see what they do with this quarterback. Like, you didn't play well. You didn't get the job done. And if you don't play well, I know you're playing a cupcake team this week, but still, if you don't play well and you struggle, is Saban going to say, you know what? I'm going to have to yank you and bring in the other guy, or is he going to stay with him? So I'm looking to see what happens, because it's good that it was early because Alabama still has a chance to redeem themselves. But at the same time, you don't usually see Alabama lose in week 3 or more. They almost lost at the same time last year to Texas. So unless that Sark has something on them, but we'll get to that later. But I just want to see how he treats his quarterback and what the quarterback does to come back. And if they don't blow this team out, and if they struggle early, even if they do blow them out in the end, if they struggle early, I just wonder if Saban's going to yank them. That was a big loss. So humiliating loss. So that's my nosy neighbor watch. But speaking of quarterbacks, man, what do you feel about your quarterback in Georgia, dog? Like,
yeah, no, Kirby's been hiding a lot. You're not really seeing, anything right now, and I don't think we're going to see it this weekend either. We might, depending on how the game goes, but I think last week he threw for like 300. It was good to see Brock Bowers get involved, but we not really. I don't think we're going to see much or see Carson Beck unleashed. I think he's just going to manage the game. I don't think it's going to be that game where he wins us the game. I don't think we're going to see that this year. I think he's cool. He's cool. It's like the Bennett effect to me, at least. He hasn't done anything where I'm like, what is he doing? So it's balanced. It's a balanced offensive attack, and he just has to stay in his range and do what he does.
And then you look at Haynes King from Georgia Tech. He's keeping it local. He looks good. I mean, I know they played a cupcake team also, but still, he looked good first week. I mean, he at the end he made some mistakes, but you could tell the guy has a future.
Yeah, they got a tough one in Ole Miss this weekend, but Ole Miss has, of course, Alabama next week, so you sort of a look ahead spot for them. I don't know, but it's going to be a tough test for Georgia Tech this weekend, man, and Ole Miss. So we'll see. They're missing this weekend. I know they're missing their second best receiver. I think I can't think his name, but he was a transfer from Texas A&M with Haynes King. So that's a huge loss.
So what do you think about we got to talk about Colorado. You talked about Pastor, and he's been there.
You don't want your preacher all in the come on down here to fellowship.
What you think about Colorado? Because I would tell you, Nebraska. I don't think people give Matt Matt. What's the coach name?
Rule.
Matt Rule. Matt Rule. A lot of credit for what he does and what he did as far as defensively. I mean, that's what he does. You know, he's a defensive guy, and he had a game plan for Colorado. They couldn't shake it. You know, they couldn't do it. But Rule, man, when I tell you that guy Shedeur is that dude, bro, he don't get rattled. And he makes the right throw. Like, you know, I'm gonna bring him in here again. But like Caleb Williams is he's like the Aaron Rodgers, you know what I'm saying, or Pat Mahomes, you know what I'm saying? He's gifted. That dude could flick at the wrist, he could throw 50 yards. He could be falling down and flick at the wrist, throw it. And it's like, you know, dude, the wide receiver doesn't break stride or whatever. I mean, perfect. But when you look at Shedeur is like, he reminds me of, just for these two games, and I'm not talking about as far as I'm comparing him to him as far as like this who he looks like, but I'm just saying he has that type of feel like it was when you watch Peyton or when you watch Bryce. You know what I'm saying? He's like very methodical. Footwork is on point, mechanics are on point. He goes through his reads. This dude still ain't threw an interception yet. And you talking about somebody who, which they keep saying, this is his first year playing in a Power 5 school. Get that. He came from an HBCU school. That's what they want to say. And he first year playing a Power 5 school, and this is what he's doing. You know, so I don't know. I mean, bruh, it's exciting. Brandon says he feels like the Eagles McNabb. To me, I don't know about that.
And we're gonna see more as he has two huge games coming up after this Colorado State game at Oregon. We haven't seen him on the road yet. Do want to see that on the road.
Yeah. We saw him play at TCU.
Oh, at TCU, of course. I'm tripping. At TCU, of course. But a game in Oregon on the road against, TCU was ranked.
It was a big game. It was 17. That was a big first game.
Throw all that out. But we got two huge games coming up after this one with USC, the matchup with him and Caleb. That's what everybody want to see. And Oregon. So,
because here's the thing. But this is the thing, though. I don't think Oregon's defense.
That's what I'm comparing him to. The Colorado States and Nebraskas, I'm not.
But Nebraska's defense is probably better. It's better.
No, Nebraska's defense is
and a USC. My point, it's better than Oregon and USC. Now, the difference in these games probably be the pressure. If it is, you know, if
that's what I'm alluding to. The
right.
I want to see how he holds up under the pressure of these two big games. Yeah.
Right. And I understand that, but that makes sense. But again, it's like he doesn't get rattled, man. He just I think it was this game when he was about to get sacked and he rolled out and he had to make this little subtle move he was gonna go in, he back out. It gave him like another second just to throw the ball, and it was like he just, I don't know, bro. That dude. And then the defense, I mean, they was playing Nebraska though. It was playing your boy Jeff Sims. Lord, what I know Georgia Tech. Like, I'm glad we got rid of that joker. Like, and I thought Jeff Sims was gonna be that dude.
I thought he was gonna shake their offense up because that's all they. To me, I mean, they need a lot more, but I thought they need a quarterback to start the year. But I thought he was gonna be the guy. But no, he was turnover machine out there, though.
So let me ask you: do you still say only 5 games?
Yeah, I still say
tripping. Tripping.
I say 4, and I'm gonna stay by that. 4 is not looking cool though, because they're gonna win this weekend. That's 3. I said 4 to start the year, but you give me 5, I'll say 5 or less. I don't think he makes a bowl.
You tripping, dude? With him playing in the Pac-12, and the fact that your defense don't have to be stellar, as long as your offense is.
You got some tough ones, man.
I don't think how it looks right now, I think their offense better than Oregon. Now,
I don't think so.
the coach might come up with, I can't think of his name either, but he might come up with a great game plan. But you don't.
Yeah.
But they put up 36 when they only score what? What they score 6 points at the half, 10 points at the half. I forgot what it was. They put up 36. Like they're scoring, and this is a good. Like this is a good defense.
Now, 6 of their remaining, I think 8 games are against ranked opponents. Man, it's gonna be tough, bro.
You was ranked. What does that mean?
Yeah, you was ranked, but
because to me at this point,
different.
I guess what I'm saying is, and I'm not saying they're gonna beat these guys. What my whole point is, because USC offense is probably number one. It's crazy. But what I'm saying though is the firepower that Colorado has offensively, they can match any team going back and forth. It's step. So what I'm saying is what is going to stop them. But what I'm saying is if Brandon said you've been stubborn, man, you ain't willing to bet.
I'm already locked in on that.
But what I'm saying though, Rue, is the fact that if they can match a team blow for blow, offensively, you can win those games. It showed with TCU. TCU, like it's TCU, they're not the same thing, but TCU offense was scoring. It's just that they couldn't stop Colorado, and like I said, USC defense is not like crazy like that. So I don't know. We'll see though. I got them winning 9 games.
I think 5.
At least 8. So real quick, let's go back to Alabama, then we'll switch. So do you think that with Alabama, is this indicative of the quarterback play and he's just not that good, or is this indicative of maybe Nick losing his fire?
It's Nick losing his fire. Also with the quarterback too, Jalen Milroe, because he looked bad. But I think it's before that though. It's Nick losing that fire, man. Nick got to get into the transfer portal. That's something he doesn't believe in, or at least not as much as his counterparts. Texas had, I think, 10 transfers on that team. FSU, you can go down the list. They got like 14 transfers. That's what college is becoming. And I think he's sort of in that same Dabo little tree where it's like, you got to hit this transfer portal. We see Deion. Deion flipped that team over. And also Deion took a few people from Saban. But I think Saban is sort of.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Oh, Travis Hunter won.
Oh, you talking about, yeah, right. Okay. I thought you were talking about like just recently.
Yeah, but I think it's, nobody's scared of him anymore in college. I think that new era is starting to turn over. I think I do. And we can talk about the quarterback now because
do you think it's a wrap? Do you think not wrap? Do you think
we'll see Tyler Buckner soon? That's the backup.
Well, hold on. Let's say if Saban doesn't win, Saban doesn't get in the playoffs. How much longer do you see Saban coaching?
I don't see him leaving. Anytime soon.
Okay, I just wanted to know. Well, all right, man. Well, look, let's end it right there. Like I said, we should see this week. It's gonna be. I will say this last thing, and of course, we want to give Texas some credit. Sarkisian, I think he's probably the only assistant coach. Him and Kirby, the only coach that's okay. I kind of see what they're doing, but let's. I might make you mad. Georgia, the way they've been winning these last 2 championships, they played great throughout the season. But when I tell you them jokers got lucky each year in the championship.
How did we get lucky against Alabama?
With Jameson? and Mechie was out.
Man, I don't know.
No, Jameson.
Jameson was not out. Mitchie got hurt. Jameson played that game.
Jameson got hurt early in that game. Jameson was out. He got hurt in like
towards ACL. Oh no,
huh?
Jameson towards ACL.
Towards ACL, and Mechie was out.
It don't matter, man. We won by.
It don't matter. Those are the
15 points, man. We won by 15. Those are defense allowed 6 points per game that year. Are you kidding me?
Rue, those were the two best receivers, and both of them was out. Both of them were out, and then the next year, you already know what happened because Marvin Harrison Jr. was beating y'all by himself.
Fourth quarter, we outscored them 18-3. You can't get outscored 18-3.
Ohio State.
Yeah, we outscored them 18
because he went out. He was beating y'all.
Ohio State.
He was beating y'all single-handedly. When he got hurt, you know it. When he got hurt, and Ohio State still played well. But when he got hurt, it was a wrap. But until then, y'all couldn't stop Ohio State after that, before then.
What's going to be the excuse this year? It's not going to be one. We just best.
I'm just saying.
Georgia.
I'm saying the last two. But all right, man, look, we're going to take a quick break. I knew that I was going to get somebody. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back.
Hey, this is Earl Campbell.
Hey, it's Chuck the Iceman Liddell.
This is Emmitt Smith, and you're listening to 3 Point Conversion.
All right, man. So just the third segment. You know, we always like to have fun on this third segment. And of course, Brandon and whoever else is watching, you all can play along. If you're listening to it as a podcast, you can play along. So here we go. So I want to know, Rue, first off, what is the first sport you fell in love with?
First sport I fell in love with was basketball. I know y'all know I love baseball, but it was basketball.
What was it? NBA, college?
NBA.
Okay.
It was Kobe Bryant. I mean, that I know that sounds generic, Kobe, but I love Kobe. I was infatuated. Jerseys. I had the purple one, the white one when they came out with those, the yellow one. Now Kobe was my guy when I was young. So much to the point where I didn't like AI because of it. The first finals I remember was AI versus Kobe. So it's like you had to choose a side. So I didn't like AI.
Right.
But it's sort of a two-part question too, because also around that same time, I started to love the Braves, and it was Andrew Jones. That was my guy, and I thought he was black until he started talking, and it broke my heart. I'm like, what is this? This dude started talking Spanish. So I'm like, hold on, what? Like that was
I think he got everybody, dog, because his name Andrew Jones. That was like he could go into the club after it was over. He was real, swag, and you know,
that was around the same time, 2001, 2002. So Andrew Jones, I thought he was Hank Aaron. I thought he was everything.
Yeah, Andrew, dude.
Yeah. So those two.
My first sport I fell in love with was football, was NFL. But now my father told me it was Tony Dorsett. I was little. I couldn't even remember. He said one of my first words was Tony Dorsett. So I mean, I don't remember that, but
you met him this summer.
Right, I know. I told him the story too. But he was like, but he was the first person my father told me. But the first person, I said this before on here, the first player I really truly was like, oh, this dude is cold. Was Roger Craig. He was a running back for the San Francisco 49ers in the 80s. And so he was the first person. He was the person that got me to love. Like, I always loved football. I grew up, when I got to the point I could remember and know, football was my favorite. But he was the first player that really had that impact. Like, I knew about Lawrence Taylor. I knew about Tony Dorsett. I remember it's funny. I didn't like the Cowboys in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Because even though, for the Bears, but I was a 49ers fan. 49ers, because of Roger Craig, he made me like 49ers. And, Steve Young was my favorite quarterback. at the time in the 90s. But even though I used to root for Tony Dorsett, I remember at 4 or 5 years old, my father, because he was the Cardinals, he from St. Louis. So growing up and born in Southern Illinois before we went to the city of Chicago, St. Louis Cardinals was the football team. That was the team. And for Christmas, I was 3 or 4 years old. I remember this, 4 years old. My mother and them got me a Dallas Cowboys uniform with the helmet.
Mhm.
And I remember I had a fit. I threw the helmet down and had to do a tantrum on Christmas because of that. But yes, but no, it's Roger Craig. So with football, baseball, and basketball, right? Because those are 3 sports that we all grew to love, right? Whether it's college or what have you. I want to know, what is your favorite position in each sport? So in basketball, we'll go back and forth. What is your favorite position?
Point guard.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I guess because it's the position I love to play when I'm playing.
Mhm.
Position I played back in my heyday, AU days. So, but it's funny because the person who got me to love that position, Jason Kidd, I love playing with Jason Kidd on the game. I think that's where it started, and just in watching him. So every time, I would play live, man, I would go for at least 20, 25 assists. I would always try to break that record. Scott Skiles, that 30 assists a game he had one night.
Mm-hmm.
I always try to break that. I'm sort of a pass first guard. If you play ball with me, I'm gonna try to get you the ball the best way, the flashiest way. And that all came from Kids. So that's my favorite position. To that point.
So with me in basketball, my favorite position is shooting guard. And of course, you know why, because of MJ.
Right.
He's my favorite player. Wait, who's your favorite player?
Kobe.
Point guard then. No,
Kobe.
Point guard, because that's your favorite position. So who is your favorite? Who's your favorite
Kid?
Okay. Yeah. So mine is Jordan. It was Jordan that made me love shooting guards. Like I said, I was a Magic fan first. I love Magic. But Jordan, because that's all I knew. But I still love Magic. Even though I was loving Jordan, I was Magic my guy. But Jordan made shooting guard. So like you said, now I know you dang, you old. I played, when was you born? 90 what?
95.
95. So it's funny you say that. So at 90, what was it? Showdown 94. This is before it turned to Live 95. That was the first live game.
NBA Live. Okay.
Yeah, 95. But even on USA Basketball in 92, when that came out,
that was a game.
Right. But that and I always play with Jordan, but on 95, when Jordan he was just a player, or he wasn't even in the league then, I would play with the Golden State Warriors, and I would always make the shooting guard be the best player. Like Sprewell was my guy. Chris Webber, I love Chris Mullin. Chris Mullin would score, but I would make Sprewell because I love the shooting guard. That was my favorite position. So with football, what's your favorite position?
Ooh, it's always pretty much been wide receiver for me.
So I'm gonna do 2. Give me offense and defense.
So yeah. So defense is becoming linebacker now. Love to see what Michael Parsons is doing, because I feel like you got a stud linebacker. He sort of shapes your team, and what the offense wants to do, period. So nowadays it's linebacker. Growing up, defense, I like DN. I did like DN growing up. Because I played DN in high school. So yeah, I was bigger than everybody else back then.
Who are your favorite players? So Brandon says, real quick, I guess running back and point guards for him, and he said his favorite players Barry Sanders and Penny.
I could have told you that.
So who was your favorite? So what was your favorite player you said wide receiver? Who was your favorite?
Wide receiver? Yeah, wide receiver, man. I was a big Torrey Holt fan back in the day. Marvin Harrison, of course.
So who's the favorite though? Who's if you
my
say
favorite when I was a kid was probably Torrey Holt.
No, period. Who's your favorite now?
Oh, my favorite wide receiver now?
Yeah, just no, period. I'm saying
this
you said it's my favorite player of all time, that position.
I go Torrey Holt. I go Torrey. He was my favorite, man. Because you know the connection, that the Holt connection, you know. So Torrey Holt was always like back then to me, like that guy, like that Jerry Rice guy to me back then.
Okay, and so Brandon, you know, if y'all don't know, I keep saying
middle school, not high school.
Brandon is Rue's cousin, and he said Rue was a beast at D line in the middle school. So okay, all right. So who was your favorite?
Had an ugly number too.
What was the number?
57.
Dope number. That ain't ugly. That's dope. Who you got legends that wore 57.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite DN?
It was Julius Yeah, I thought I was about to say Jabril Peppers. Julius Peppers was my favorite DN.
Beast. Okay.
Yeah.
So my favorite, my two favorite is and this is easy, I know, but it's running back and cornerback. And my favorites.
Let me guess. Barry. I'm gonna guess Barry, running back. Cornerback, Dion.
Yes, those are my favorite players of all time. Like, those are my two favorite football players of all time. Barry Sanders first, then Dion. So those are my positions. Like I said, running back, Roger Craig got me into the running back position. But when I saw, and I love running back, but when I saw Barry Sanders, it was just like, he's the greatest. You know what I'm saying?
Calvin Johnson was up there too. Calvin Johnson, see him at Georgia Tech. And I'll never tell anybody this. It's my only time ever. No, I ain't gonna say it. I can't. I'm going to the grave with it. I can't tell you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now in baseball, what's your favorite position in baseball?
Woo! It's a good one, bro. It's that shortstop.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, it's that shortstop position.
Nice. Who's your favorite player at shortstop?
So, I mean, I can go so many ways with this because it was, of course, I wasn't a Yankees fan, but I did like Jeter. Oh, man. I didn't really like any shortstops on the Braves that much. Man, I used to like Edgar Renteria growing up.
Oh, Edgar, yeah, he was nice.
Now, Furcal was nice. He was nice for the Braves, so I'm not even gonna do him like that. But Jeter, Renteria, those two really pop off. Furcal a little bit too.
Okay.
And once I started watching baseball, like the history, Ozzie Smith, bro. Wasn't nobody really messing with Ozzie.
Oh yeah, Ozzie was that guy. I grew up watching Ozzie, so
yeah, at that position. So
Brandon says pitcher for him, and Miguel Cabrera is his favorite player. Okay, but who's your favorite pitcher though? Because that's the position you chose, Brandon. You got to tell us who your favorite pitcher is. That's what we want to know. But for me, it was center fielder. And it was, of course, Griffey. I mean, I know that sounds like you picking the easy one, but I'm just saying I grew up in that era. So even before Griffey was a fan favorite, I mean, that was just my guy. You know, Barry Sanders was my guy. Dion was, I thought back then, a lot of people didn't like Dion, you know, but he was my guy. A lot of people like Emmitt Smith. Let's see what Brandon says. Verlander. He says Verlander is his. Okay. All right. We got Vince in here. Vince says Sean Dunston was a beast. Yeah. Sean had a cannon too, boy. Sean had a cannon. And then I'm gonna say one last.
Ernie Banks, Cubs fan.
He was too way past my time. But then at least I know you're not a hockey fan, but I love hockey too. So I watch hockey, and my favorite position is was it right winger? I think Brett Hull is my favorite player.
Right, yeah. Detroit.
No, played for the St. Louis Blues. Then he went Minnesota.
I don't know nobody.
North Stars, Dallas North Stars. But he was St. Louis Blues. He was the coldest. Brett Hull, he was hard, boy. Like, yeah, he was a beast. He used to score from center ice, like in the mid center ice, and do a slap shot all the way from there and score. He was a beast, whatever. So yeah, that was my thing. But all right, man. Yeah, bro. That's like I said. I just love to hear. You just never know why people love what they love and the positions they love and all of this and so on. You know what I'm saying? So, but all right. We got to take one more break, man, and then we're gonna get back to the stop it segment, y'all. So, don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
My name is George Iceman Gervin.
This is Dylan Brooks. What's up? This is Vince Carter. You're listening to the 3-Point Conversion. Check it out.
It is time for the most infamous, the most famous stop it segment. Let's get it. So, my stop it goes to Kadarius Toney. And this is why he gets my stop it. So, y'all, we saw the game he had, right? He dropped everything. Like I said, I don't know if you saw the video, but I was talking to my grandma. My grandma thought she was watching I don't play dodgeball. And she was saying like she knew this guy that was good at dodgeball, but it was really she was talking about Kadarius Toney. I had to tell her it was football, wasn't dodgeball, grandma. He just couldn't catch. She thought he was as good at dodgeball, but either or, that's how bad of a game he had. But Kadarius Toney, this joker said, where is it? This joker said after the Giants lost, he said, he tweeted out, "No, don't get quiet now." And all, that was the caption he put, talking about the Giants after they lost, talking to the Giants fans. Negro, you can't talk about nobody after what y'all lost, and they lost because of you. I don't care if they was. You ain't got the right to say nothing, huh?
Single-handedly lost because
you talking about don't get quiet because they got blown out, but come on, dog, you can't say anything, bro. Let the fans do that. You can't say anything.
Nah.
They should have suspended his account when he said that.
I saw
like
that.
Twitter or whatever. Like
that's crazy.
Like what? Come on, dog.
Focus on social media than catching the ball.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So of course, I gotta find that, and he gotta get a
stop it. Stop.
Of course. Yeah.
These young boys, man. My stop it goes out to another young boy. This one on the Charlotte Hornets.
Stop it. Stop it.
Still stop. All right,
still stopping it. Yes. Kai Jones, man, gets my stop it this week. Kai Jones is like a second, third year player from Texas, center position. But he cannot stop talking about his teammates on Twitter. And I'm not talking about in a good way. I've never seen anybody do this. I don't know if this dude is this his way of requesting a trade, or I don't know, trying to find himself out the league. But this is what he tweeted on Monday. He said, somebody said, tweeted him, "Mark Williams is getting your bum ass off this roster." Kai Jones tweets back at the dude, "Show me a video of Mark pulling up, going left, and hitting it anywhere, man, in college. Show me one. Show me somewhere." That's what he says. So that's first. Mark Williams is from Duke. He was Charlotte's pick the year before last. And now somebody else tweets him, says Nick Richards, with the compared to you sign, and it's going Nick Richards' way. And he says, "I'm more assertive with myself with the ball than Nick. I could read myself." Now this dude is still signed to the Hornets with these dudes, man. Nick Richards and Mark Williams, bro. I don't know what's going on, man. If you of Charlotte, but what are you doing? His agent needs to tell him, "Yo, get off the phone, because this ain't a good look, bro. Stop it.
Stop it."
What are you doing, dog?
Hey,
what are you doing?
Stop it.
He say something about LaMelo. He's
Stop
on the next flight out of town. Promise you.
Yeah, you tripping. All right, and then What did Brandon say? Brandon says, bro, job is on. What'd you say, Brandon? Is on the line and he tweeting. He talking about Kadarius. Yeah, bro. Like, dog, you about to get cut. You know what I'm saying? I know you got cut from fantasy teams just because of that, you know.
Facts.
Yo, and you know what? Speaking of fantasy, dog, we gotta talk fantasy this week because it was a crazy week. It was a crazy week.
I won all my leagues.
How many leagues you in?
3.
Okay, that's I went 6. I went 6-3. I should have went undefeated, but I had 2 losses, man. One came back and the other one, yeah, he beat me by 3 points, whatever. But anyway, you know we can't do this without bringing in the one and only Vincent the Fantasy Juru. What up, Juru? What's going on, man?
Fellas, what's going on?
You recovered from Monday night? I know you went MIA off the grid somewhere. Just making
sure. Man.
Hey,
yeah, it was tough wearing this hat today, you know, after that bad loss. So
I want to say this because I could see Vince backstage. Vince, you know what? You had it perfect already, man. It's funny because backstage, it's like your face is right there. You had it right, I guess, when you had it the first time. So my bad. If you want to do it like that, you was good. It's up to you.
Oh no, you good. You good. Like this.
Okay, so first off, man, we got to ask you, like crazy week, right? Like when you look at it, when you think about what happened and the points weren't scored, like what went through your mind, man?
Well, going back to what you guys were talking about, how Rue was 3-0 in your league and you were 6-3. You know, I'm in 19 leagues this year.
I almost got it.
I'm in 19 leagues. I'm 10-9 this week. 10-9. But again, I just did it all together. Money leagues, I'm still up there, probably like 8-5 or something like that. Something I don't know. But dude, I mean, again, it's fantasy, so you're gonna have those rough weeks, man. It's been crazy so far, and so many people just didn't produce like we thought they were, but that just comes with week one, man. I think it's just those week one jitters. So
yeah, go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, it was a crazy week. I had Kelsey. He didn't play.
But that's right, you did have Kelsey,
and in one of the leagues, I accidentally forgot to take him out on Thursday, and I got lucky in that league. But yeah, it was crazy.
Next question: What? Let me ask you, Juru, and then you can chime in, Ru. What player hurt you the most? Well, I kind of know what hurt you if you saying it. If it was Kelsey, you let him in. But what player hurt you the most?
Well, out of my 9 losses, I would have to say guys like Dak Prescott, hurt me. Jamar Chase.
Oh, yeah.
Saquon. DJ Moore. I could go on and on. Alexander Madison. Tyler Lockett. I mean, just the list go. The list go.
The one that messed me up when I lost was definitely Lamar Jackson. If I scored 5 points with Lamar Jackson. If he just could have got me a touchdown, I would have won. So yeah, man, that was crazy. But go ahead, Ru.
The one play, it was really 2. I thought I'll probably get more scoring from. Like I said, still went 3-0. Got lucky, but Drake London on one of my leagues, I started him as my flex. I got 0 for him. Absolutely nothing. And
he played pretty much all the snaps.
And had 0. And then Najee Harris on my other team, he essentially that was a bad game for the Steelers, but I can't have more weeks like with 5 with him. So I don't know. All this horrific scoring. As far as players like we just talked about, DeAndre Swift, Geno Smith, and other, second, third tier players. Should we panic and make a change, or should we just relax?
Yeah, like I said, just going over those players, fellas. It's week one. sometimes you just lose in fantasy. A lot of these guys that, like I said, I just named, and then and included guys like Geno. Now DeAndre Swift. Now if he does another carry for 3 yards again, then I'm going to probably hit that panic button. But again, I don't think you draft DeAndre Swift as your running back 2. Most drafts, he's kind of going as your 3rd running back. Depending on matchup, you may throw him in your flex, but he wasn't. If he shouldn't have been one of your RB1 or RB2. So you shouldn't probably start him anyway unless you was hurting or went wide receiver heavy in the first couple rounds. But yeah, just don't panic, you all. It's just week 1. You still got a whole lot of weeks left. If you're 0-1 right now in your teams because of those guys like a Dak Prescott, a Joe Burrow who didn't perform well, Rashad White didn't perform well, DJ Moore, these guys, they're not gonna. You can guarantee they're not gonna perform like that 2-3 straight weeks in a row. So don't hit the panic button. Don't drop players. I did want to tell you guys a player that somebody did drop in one of my leagues. They dropped Jamar Gibbs.
What?
Somebody said I didn't like his performance. I'm like, I'm picking him up, so I end up getting him on my squad. So I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Folks like Deontay Johnson, he hurt his hamstring. He's gonna be out for a couple weeks. Somebody dropped him in one of my leagues. I'm like, y'all know he's coming back, right? So if you have an IR spot, once he gets the O or IR, whatever league that you guys are in, put him in your IR spot, pick up another player, and just wait. Stash him like you're doing, people are stashing Cooper Kupp. They're gonna come back. Don't worry about it. They're gonna be good.
Yeah. And the funny, real quick, I have Swift, and because I drafted Kamara and I was hurting the running back, so I had Swift. He didn't do anything. But the good thing about Swift is, drop him if y'all want. I'm taking him. I'll give a nugget. Kenny Gainwell is hurt and this week, so and then the coach already said they won't give him just one carry, so I think he's gonna get a lot of attention this week. So we'll see. But I want to ask you, going into that, we saw who was it? J.K. Dobbins get hurt, and with J.K. getting hurt, now it opens up the running back position for Baltimore. So you either got Gus Edwards or Justice Hill. Now, who knows? They said I think I heard a report that Baltimore is going to stay in the house. So they do have
Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, and the practice squad. But still, between Gus Edwards and Justice Hill, who are you going with?
Well, me personally, my true gut feeling is I will prefer Gus Edwards. He backed him up last year, before all the injuries kind of occurred. Don't get it wrong. I think Justice Hill is not a bad football player. He's a little bit small, like a J.K. Dobbins. But, I think Baltimore is one of those teams that they just want that big pounder kind of type of running back. And I think Gus Edwards is that guy. Now, of course, you're not going to get any receptions from him because, he's not known as one of those catching type of running backs. Now, that's something that Melvin Gordon and Hill may perform right there. But I just want people to just go and think they could. Justice Hill is going to be like this 20 carry, scoring a touchdown every week. The man scored 2 touchdowns, but it was only 2 yards per. Each touchdown was just a 2-yard run. So again, that was just week 1. The next couple of weeks, he may not even give you a total 10 carries, but Gus may take over. So I think he's more prone to be that pounder that can give you 15 to 18 touches, especially if Baltimore is controlling the clock. And he'll be my preferred running back in fantasy. So I would get him, before Justice Hill.
So Vince, with free agents like Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua, I don't think anybody knew who that was before.
I didn't know how to say his name. The fact that you said his name right.
My bad.
You said it right. I didn't know how to say it. You probably said it right.
Some respect on it because I did get him off the waiver wire this morning. I don't think nobody knew. People act like they don't watch football, but I got him off the waiver wire at 10th. So That's a blessing. Yeah. So wide receivers like Puka Nacua and Tutu Atwell, both for the same team right here.
Who?
Do you trust that they'll continue to have good games for the next few games while Cooper Kupp's out, especially?
Oh man, Mr. Cosmos, I keep on thinking, with those names that Rue just said, in fantasy draft, we'll be like, who? Who's that?
Puka
Dude, this Puka person came out of nowhere. Like nowhere. Like, look, everybody in fantasy last pick in some rounds, even I drafted Van Jefferson. I'm thinking, oh yeah, Cooper Kupp gonna be out for 4 weeks. Van Jefferson, he's the next man. They're gonna step up, and then all of a sudden you're watching the game, and you looking like, who's it? Who? What number is this guy? So, I mean, he just came out of nowhere, and now he's like the number one. Like he's gonna, after the transactions happen tomorrow, because most transactions, depending on what league you're in, Wednesday, Thursday. He's gonna probably be owned like in over 95% of the leagues after this performance, right?
No.
But with Cooper Kupp being out, at least for the next 3 weeks, I mean, you gotta look at it. They played the 49ers, which is gonna be a tough defense. They played the 49ers. I think they got Cincinnati. I think they got the Colts. I mean, Stafford, long as Stafford's healthy, he's gonna throw that ball at least 30 times. Somebody gotta catch the ball. So now the question is, would you throw them in front of, good receivers that may be already on your team? Now that's the question. Depending on who you have, and depending on who they're going against defensively, that's your choice. But of course, for right now, oh yeah, you want to get those guys, especially Puka. I mean, the man had 15 targets last week. 15, the most of all the receivers of last week. So yeah, for 10 receptions, come on, like you gotta roll with the high hand right now.
Ironic about all of this is the fact that Stafford's wife came on and was like, well, he's not. I think they set that up. I really think they set that up. I believe they set that up to fake out Seattle, because Seattle has a good defense. They have good corners, safeties. I think they lied. I think she did it purposely to say that them jokers are not getting along and Stafford's having problems with it. I really think that was a hoax. Like you said, both of them get over 100 yards receiving. Pookie get 2 touchdowns, and
Pookie.
I think I heard Pookie at one point, but I'm just saying, like, I just think that was a hoax. But
you got a good point. But out of those two, what we really need to worry about, if anything, we are worried about who's going to run that ball between Akers and Williams, because that right there is that's what I'm kind of tripping about right now. But yeah,
that whole team got you like, okay, I don't know what to. All right, but go ahead, Rue. Got one last question?
Yeah, I just had a quick question, man. It was a fantasy question, because now this weekend I don't know who to start as my flex. I got Puka Nacua, but last week I started Drake London, got me 0, so I'm sort of like weary of him. So I got Mike Williams. These are my flex options: Mike Williams for the Chargers, Drake, Michael Thomas, or Puka Nacua.
PPR 1 point PPR.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Mike has.
Let's see. London plays at home against the Packers, right?
Yep.
That's not a good matchup.
I don't care about that. I don't care about that matchup, because I just think about what DJ Moore did. So that got thrown. Yeah, I do like that matchup. And I also like that Michael Thomas matchup, because Michael Thomas, he had a pretty decent game for him being, out. This is a no-show for the last 2 years. I would probably go with Michael Thomas.
Okay.
If it was up to me, I'd probably put Michael Thomas in.
Monday night matchup. Okay.
Yeah, I'll probably put him in. And it's good. I always say in your flex position, always start your later players. so you can have a choice. You see what I'm saying? So if you got a player that plays late Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, or Monday, you want to keep them. You want to keep them in your flex so you can kind of play around with it.
Got you.
So when you look at your scores, when you're looking at your scores, you'll see exactly, hey, okay, I want to start this guy because I may have an upper advantage against my opponent by having him in.
Got it.
Well, all right, Vince, man, we appreciate you for coming on, bruh. And, like always, the Fantasy Guru, gets it done, man. And hey, we'll look to have you again later on this year, man, periodically, So can't wait.
Absolutely. All right, fellas.
All right.
Appreciate it.
All right, man. So let's transition to the NFL, bruh. What stood out for you? What was the thing, or what team, what player, or what happened that stood out for you? I mean, that you can say, okay, this is.
It was a few games that stood out. The early game, of course, I'm watching my Falcons. What stood out from that game was that the run. Arthur Smith is fully committed to this run. He don't care about how good it makes Desmond Ridder looks. He don't care about none of that. He don't care about your fantasy team. Arthur Smith is going to run the ball, and he's going to do whatever he can to get a win. And he doesn't care about the flashiness. He damn near, I don't think, cares about Kyle Pitts getting his receptions. As long as he's winning, I think that's all that matters. So that was a takeaway. The Rams game, though, the Rams was a big takeaway. Pete Carroll, what was that? That was one of the worst second halves anybody could ever play in football. I think they had 12 yards in that second half. Seattle did. The Rams, was that more of the Rams looking good, or was that more Seattle just looking terrible? I have no idea. We'll know next week. That was another takeaway I got.
My takeaway, the biggest thing that stood out, of course, was Joe Burrow. Were the quarterbacks, period.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson didn't play it. I don't think he played bad. Deshaun Watson was playing bad. I watched that game. He played bad. Fields didn't play good. I'm trying to think. There's one more quarterback, I believe, that stunk it up.
Josh Allen.
Yep, Josh Allen. That stood out. And then, honestly, man, I told y'all, man, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, man. I know it's week 1, but I'm just saying, you start to see as the game went on, Baker start getting in the rhythm, with the players. And when you got Mike, you got 2 veteran receivers. That's going to help you out. You know what I'm saying? And Baker's at a time where he has to prove himself. And then you got the Baker that when he was making them plays and getting the first down and running for the first downs and all, and gutsy, that's Baker Mayfield. That's what he does. That's what you want. That's how he is. So I'm just telling y'all, man, I think I got a team winning 9 games, bro. I got that team winning 9 games. So I know everybody think I'm crazy, but I got a team winning 9 games. Who are you most impressed by?
I was impressed by the Baker in Tampa Bay. They impressed me because I said before the year they'll probably pick first in the draft, but I forgot all about Cardinals and that their franchise exists. I was most impressed quarterback-wise with Tua. And I know he has the weapons, man. I really do. I know he has the weapons, but Tua is that guy, and you got people like Ryan Clark and all these people doubling back on their statements, talking about him all this summer, talking about his weight and all that. But even before last year, before he got hurt, he was doing this. So I'm most impressed with Tua. The defense wasn't there for either team, but quarterback, I was impressed with Tua.
I think I would say Tua also, but I'm telling y'all, the best wide receiver, dog. I think I had him over. I said the best. Remember, we did it. The best wide receiver. Like, I think Devontae all around is, but bro, that dude Tyreek Hill. Oh my God.
Yeah, unbelievable.
I've never seen, like, it's only been 2 people to do this that could run routes and they running 100 miles per hour. And one was Antonio Brown, and then you have Tyreek Hill, man, and you can't. He's so much faster than the next fastest man in the league. Like, there's nobody that could get next to him at all. And when he's running precise routes and he's able to, and he could catch, you can't stop that. And then you got a quarterback that's accurate. You're not gonna stop it, huh?
He's a track star.
Yeah, he's a beast. He's a beast. He's a beast. So yeah, I was impressed by them as well. And even honestly, the Lions, man. Even though I don't like them jokers, but even though they almost coached them out of a win. They almost coached them out of a win with it worked for him with the fake punt earlier at the 20-yard line, and then remember he pushed Kansas City back. And when it was like third and they stopped, and it would have been fourth and like 6 or 5, and he decided to push them back, and then Kansas City got the first down and ended up scoring it before the half. And then when he would try to go for it at the end of the game, remember they got stopped. Like he almost coached them out of a win. You know what I'm saying? Thank God you got Kadarius messing up. That was the only reason why they won. But yeah, he got coached out of a win. Now I will say this though. I will say this though. With Dallas Cowboys, do you think is that a preview of what to be seen, or do you think it was just game one and Giants just had a bad game and so on? Because let me say this, I'm gonna tell you. I heard a lot of folks saying it's just Giants, just the Giants. This same Giants team went to the playoffs last year. This same Giants team beat Minnesota in the wild card weekend, won on the road. So we can't say they playing the Giants because the Giants were good last year. That defense, though, man, I just think they were just on another level. And then I think everything switched because Giants had I don't know if you watched the game, but in the beginning, they started off driving. And they got started like 16, and then when they kicked the field goal, they got blocked. It was like after that, everything just went.
I didn't watch the game for much more after that. Once I seen that the Giants was laying down, but you know, I don't want to overreact to that Dallas performance because I don't think the Giants are going to be any good this year. They have no weapons, man. They have no weapons.
Well, last year with no weapons. Well, I think Hyatt will be that.
I broke it down. They won like 7 games under like 6 points, or I think it was really under 5 points. They won a lot of close games last year. Giants are a bad football team, bro. Like they have no weapons, man. You can't be a bad football team.
You can't be a bad football team.
They're gonna be this year. They're gonna be a really bad football team.
Think about it.
They might win 4 or 5 games.
And you go into 5 stuff again.
What are they gonna win?
Think about it, Rue. They got a better team. They got more weapons this year than they had last year.
No, they don't. The only weapon they have this year is we don't know what Hyatt is yet.
But I'm saying got Waller. Like they didn't have Waller.
Tight end.
But they had the same team last year and they won.
They still have Sterling Shepard on their roster.
They won a playoff game. But I think Hyatt's gonna be that guy. The thing is, Rue, we couldn't even see because Daniel Jones couldn't even get the ball off. Dallas defense is.
I just don't know what to grade this game as because I think the Giants are very bad. Yeah. But I don't think the Cowboys are that good. So
I don't think the Giants are that bad how they play. I think it was just they couldn't do. I mean, Michael Parsons in the backfield. All of them was in the backfield, man. That dude, Michael Parsons guy. Oh my God, he might be the 3rd best player in the league. He top 5.
Yeah, and plus the Giants have a lot of young guys on their team. I heard something on Sunday night, like they have like 8 new guys starting or rookies or something like that, like on the team. I'm like. And it's a lot of players that making their debuts over there. Sunday, a lot of guys. That team is re-rostered.
Yeah, they look good. They get better. Even offensively, even with getting Brandon Cooks, they got better. So and everybody, they jumped on Dak last year. Dak missed the first 6 games and he threw 15 touchdowns. I mean, interceptions. So I get it. But he also threw 23 touchdowns and he missed the first 6 games, essentially. So, but I know it's what you did for me lately. But Rue, the year before last, do you know he threw only 4 interceptions and 37 touchdowns? Dak?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so people, it's like let's chill on Dak. But we'll see. I just think the defense might be that good because the offense didn't do anything Sunday night.
Right.
So,
I do think the offense is pretty good too, though.
But I want you to break down the hometown Falcons, though. I mean, what did you like in that? They played a Carolina team, probably not going to be good, but yet still they had to play them. That's not their fault. They're on the schedule. It's not like college football where you pick your schedule. So, just your thoughts on Dallas and what they did. The Falcons. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So the first half was frustrating. I thought they left a lot of opportunities, but on the board. But I think that was just the whole getting used to, Ridder not being really a quarterback. This dude, I don't know, man. He was handcuffed. He was handcuffed all game long. And I mean handcuffed by Arthur Smith. The game plan was not to make, have Ridder look good. The defense was especially, great. It's a rookie quarterback, but already I could tell the difference that Jesse Bates has, on this team compared to years before. I feel like we haven't had that dominant safety. AJ Terrell looked good. Want to see, more of a pass rush. Didn't really see that at all. The pass blocking I thought wasn't good. But I don't think they expected Brian Burns to play. What's my guy from Auburn on that line? Derek, he's been a problem for us since he's gotten there. Derek Brown has been a problem for us since he's gotten there. So I didn't think the pass rush was good at all. The run blocking was excellent. But also, man, these 2 guys, Kyle Pitts and Drake London, they have to be involved in his offense somehow. Like they haven't been since, Kyle Pitts really hasn't been since he put on the uniform. But to, no receptions, no targets for Drake London, our 7th pick, and Kyle Pitts, he was minimized. He kept getting open. It's film out there on Twitter of Kyle Pitts at least open 6-7 times, and Desmond just not throwing him the ball. I said we were going to win 11 games. I stand by that. But if Desmond Ridder plays quarterback how he played game 1, you probably could shade that to 6 or 7. Because I do think with us playing a rookie quarterback in his first game, it sort of gave us an advantage in a lot. The turnover margin we won, but he needs to. Arthur Smith, you got to let this kid play quarterback. And if you didn't know what you had before, why start him for only 4 games last year? That was the point of last year. And I still don't think they know what they really have in Desmond Ridder.
Well, you know what? I say this. I believe that after week 1, I'm not judging anybody, any quarterback. I've been saying this for years, man, since I've had this show. Rule, if you don't have your players playing in preseason, it's no way they're going to be. This is what's going to happen. Either, like we've seen in years past, either the defense is going to play horrible because it's no such thing as as continuity. Like you don't have that. You still you're trying to gel. Like everybody's off because you hadn't played in the preseason. You hadn't had that practice, so it's either going to be a shootout or high scoring, or your offense is going to play horrible because, they got to gel too. They got to get in rhythm as well. Or it could be both. Like we saw a lot of teams where they just played bad. Like my Chicago Bears, horrible. They didn't play good. They didn't play well, but it was rust. Fields wouldn't trust himself and throw the ball downfield. The defense was letting a lot of stuff happen. Guys were open, but you expect that in the beginning of the season, the first game, if you're not playing your teams in preseason. Think about it. Jacksonville played in preseason. They looked decent. They played. So all the teams, even Indy, with who they had, they didn't struggle as much, and they played in preseason. They played in preseason, though. You know what I'm saying? So you have a rhythm. But if you're not playing in preseason, you're not going to get a rhythm until week 2, week 3. You know what I'm saying? And that's how they used to do back in the day. That's why I thought when they got rid of preseason, that was probably or they're trying to get rid of and players don't play them. That's probably the worst thing that can happen to a team. So, but yeah, man, but that dude Bijan, no doubt.
Yeah, he wasn't surprising. I
like how, I will say this. I like how he was being used. Like the way Arthur used both him and Algier, it was great. It was great. You know, so kudos to them. And then, man, thoughts about the Jets. Like, of course, that was horrible to see. Horrible to see Brett Favre. What's my man's name? Aaron Rodgers do like he did, get hurt. But I'm gonna say this, and I don't mean this in no bad way, but I think this is gonna be the best thing that happens to this team moving forward. I know Aaron Rodgers is gonna try to come back and play, but this is probably the best thing that can happen because you know what it's gonna do? It's gonna give that young kid that experience, you know, and that's what Zach needs. Zach Wilson needs experience. He played the rookie year, then last year he didn't play well. You benched him. I think that was a dumb move. That was a dumb move by a young coach. Why would you bench your player, your franchise player who you spent all this money on, or who you drafted high? Why would you do that? You got to fight through it. It worked with Tua. You got to fight through it. And I think this year is going to work with them, man. So, you know, they got all them weapons, whatever. And you saw him start to play better. He's gutsy too. You know, he's gutsy. So, hey, I think the Jets going to be all right. I don't think they're going to they're going to do what we project them to be. I still think they're going to be competitive in this division, though. You're on mute. I think you're on mute.
Yeah, I think I had them as a wild card. Yeah, they with that injury, they won't make the playoffs, but I think they'll be competitive, especially with that defense. They'll probably be in a lot of games this year. Offensively, I think they're going to be a little stricken though. Yeah, they won't be Aaron Rodgers Jets, but I still think. I think he's going to develop something with Wilson because he didn't get to develop that last year because he got benched. You know, and then you got to remember, even in preseason, he didn't play with Wilson. So I think you'll see them jail, whatever, and get better. So we'll see, man. But other than that, like I said, it was a crazy week 1. We'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes week 2. Like I told a lot of people, don't panic on your team. And if your team did well, don't get too excited. It was week 1. Everybody looked bad. You know, even Joe Burrow, that was just awful. Oh my God, that was awful. But look, we're gonna take a quick break, man. Shout out to Dr. Fowler, man. Had like I said, he had a baby girl, and she's doing good, and they're home now. So I talked to him this week. You know, we'll talk about that real quick when we get to the picks. He's not doing good on that though. But anyway, we'll be right back. It's a new year now, Rue. I'm just telling you. It's a new year now, buddy. We'll be right back.
Have a sports injury? Need to see an orthopedic doctor? Ortho Atlanta is one of Metro Atlanta's largest orthopedic and sports medicine practices, providing orthopedic and sports medicine care for the whole family. With 37 physicians and 14 offices, the practice provides the highest level of care for injury of muscles, joints, bones, and spine. Ortho Atlanta offers convenient access to a full range of musculoskeletal surgeons and specialists. Ortho Atlanta also offers on-site physical therapy, pain management care, MRI imaging, and workers' compensation care. The Ortho Atlanta surgery centers in Austell and Fayetteville provide cost-effective, same-day surgical procedures in an accredited outpatient center. Hip, knee, shoulder, back pain? Ortho Atlanta has you covered with specialists in all areas. Same-day appointments, orthopedic care for the whole family. Ortho Atlanta, Atlanta's choice for orthopedic and sports medicine care. Learn more at www.orthoatlanta.com.
All right, we are back inside the 3-point conversion sports lounge. You know what? We're gonna go ahead and go with no, you know, we're gonna talk baseball, then we're gonna do our picks. Brandon is saying wild card is not out the picture. He's talking about Jets. They could have been a Super Bowl contender.
Not out the picture. And that conference is out the picture.
I think they're gonna beat each other. I kind of agree with Brandon. I think they're gonna beat each other up, man.
Hell.
I think Jets, like you said it yourself, the defense.
The defense will, yeah, but you got to score in this league.
But
I don't think they. Zach Wilson ain't that guy. Zach Wilson's really not that guy.
We don't know that. We know
that. Oh, we know. And the Jets know that. The Jets really do know that. That's why they went and got Aaron Rodgers. That's why they played Mike White over Zach Wilson last year.
But the best thing that happened to Zach Wilson was getting Aaron Rodgers. And you saw how Aaron Rodgers, I don't know if you watch Hard Knocks, he was coaching him up. And that was the best thing for Zach. And I don't know, man. I just think now he's going to have time to develop with Wilson, with the other Wilson, Garrett Wilson. And you got Breece Hall. You saw what Breece Hall was doing last night. You still got Cook, Dalvin Cook. I mean, Lazard, you got weapons, bro. You got veterans.
Gonna make the playoffs. Hell no.
I wouldn't doubt it. I know they, like you said, they're gonna be competitive, so they got a chance. They still got a chance, man. With that defense, they got a chance.
Third in the division, and we don't even know that. The Patriots look good. That's that game. I didn't see them coming back. They finished in third or fourth in that division. They're not making the playoffs.
You know what?
Real.
We're gonna go with the let's go with the picks, bro. You know, we're just gonna go with the picks. So first off, man, who do you have with Atlanta and Green Bay?
Man, it's a tough one to pick. This is a tough one to pick because Jordan Love looked like Tom Brady compared to what Desmond Ridder looked like on Sunday. Jordan Love looked good from the first drive. I saw that game too. From the first drive on, he looked good. You know, and Matt LaFleur, bro,
open, but go ahead.
Hey, nah. Hey, why were they open?
Because go ahead, but go ahead.
Yeah, Aaron Jones, like that was crazy. But I'm gonna go my birds. Because I think we could sort of slow down what they want to do. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the run game. And I think the defense could put on better performance than the Bears did here at home. But it's gonna be so close. That might be a field goal game, man. Because I don't see much difference from us than what I saw. They were impressive week one. Close game, Falcons win.
I have Green Bay winning. I don't want to pick them. I hope I'm wrong on this, but I still think with Ridder, I don't know if you all can score. You should be able to run on the Packers, but I know with that passing defense, they're really stout. And then when Ridder drops back, they're gonna get pressure. They can get pressure, whatever. So I don't think I don't think they can beat Green Bay. You got to score. And the fact that I don't think they'll be able to score. I mean, again, they're not playing the Carolina Panthers. Panthers are rebuilding, or they're starting over, So I just got Green Bay. I mean, that was another team that played in the preseason. And Jordan Love looked spectacular in the preseason. He looked real good in the preseason. So they already have rhythm, you know, and then Christian Watson probably gonna be back too. So yeah, I have Green Bay. All right, next game, man. Who do you have? And I'll go next. So we got Kansas City and Jacksonville. This is hard to see Kansas City go 0-2. Yeah, it's hard to see them go 0-2 right now. They get Kelsey back. They should get Kelsey back if they do. And I'm basing it on getting Kelsey back. But they get Kelsey back. You get Chris Jones back. Now you're getting pressure. Now, you know, Trevor's not going to be comfortable in that pocket. Now, I will say that this is a different Jacksonville team. I like this team. Ridley looked good. Didn't he? Look real good. Look very good. And I like Jacksonville's defense as well, but when you add Kelsey to this mix, it changes the whole dynamic of this team. And believe it or not, I think Kadarius Toney's going to bounce back. So Kansas City going to feel like Kansas City again. And I just feel like I can't see them going 0-2, man. And I don't think Mahomes will let them go 0-2. So I have Kansas City winning a big one in Jacksonville. Close game, though.
Yeah, I got Jacksonville winning this one because they're home. I think if this was in Kansas City, I'd go with Kansas City. But I think Jacksonville has real momentum at the crib. And they played horrible against the Colts. And still, you know, I know it's the Colts. But I do give that Colts defense some respect. Not their offense necessarily, but the defense I do. And they went 3 of 12 on third downs. And, you know, I'm saying still won the game by 10 points. And with a couple turnovers. They played horrible, and they still put up 31. I don't think the Chiefs – this Chiefs offense – it's just something about it this year, bro. And I know Mahomes got it done last year. I know. It's just something about it this year, though. It just feels like it's just lacking. And I know Kelsey's coming back, but who else is going to step up on the offensive end other than Kelsey? Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, we can't expect anything from him anymore. It's like Scantling, it's getting to the point where it's getting thin to me. And I think Jaguars are going to take advantage. That secondary is going to take advantage. Close game, but I like Jacksonville.
Yeah. All right, so next game, Baltimore and Cincinnati. I'm going to let you go first, bro.
You can't think Cincinnati's going to play worse, right? Than what they just did in Cleveland. But the Ravens was also very, very rusty. If you know, Lamar said it himself, like, I got to get this rust off me. They didn't play well at all either. I don't think any of the receivers played well other than Zay Flowers, honestly. Bateman had a good catch or two. But they were missing Mark Andrews, the number one receiver for their team over the past 3-4 years, who should be back for this game. I think Joey's hurt. I think Burrow's hurt. And I think he's trying to push it out there, but he looked bad last week, man. There's no explanations of that. He didn't play any in preseason, and he didn't play any in the preseason. So, yeah, I like Baltimore in a close division win.
You know what? Like I said, I think that's because Joe, he didn't play any preseason. He barely played in training camp, because of the injury. So I don't think that's going to happen again. But, Rue, like you said, Baltimore looked bad too. And they won. I think they looked bad because they didn't play well. I won't say they looked bad. They didn't play well because of Lamar not playing in preseason. But I think with this team, man, with the weapons they have, the defense they have, I still think it's going to take about week 3, for Cincinnati to get back up. The good thing about this is Cincinnati, they could do it. They started 0-2 last year. Or was it the year before last? No, it was last year. They was 0-2. And you see they got to the AFC Championship. So it could be done, you know what I'm saying? Because you're going to play them twice anyway. And I think this division going to beat each other up. But I just think Baltimore, I think they just got the advantage right now. I don't think Burrow's going to come back and play better, but I still don't think he's going to be back at 100. Not, I don't want to say 100% as far as his leg or whatever, but I don't think he's going to be in rhythm yet.
And look at the game last year in the playoffs. Ravens should have won that game with Tyler Huntley. Let's not forget.
Right. So I have Baltimore. That's why I'm picking Baltimore. So I got Baltimore on that. And then last game, I almost want to change it, but I'm not. It's Dallas and the Jets. But this is the NFL. You just never know. I don't want to get to the point, Rue, that Dallas mess around and don't play well like they did against the Giants. You know, like you said, that was the Giants. It's different, what have you. But that defense, and when you got a player like Zach Wilson trying to come back, trying to play, trying to get acclimated to this team and to these players against that Dallas defense, I can't see them. I can't see them winning. I can't see the Jets winning. I mean, it had to be something like was that last night? No, like Monday night, where Buffalo was turning the ball over, Dak turned the ball over, and they stabbing themselves in the back themselves. That's what I can see. But other than that, I just see Dallas winning.
Yeah, I'm with you. Dallas winning.
So I think that'll be it. All right, man. We're gonna take one more quick break, bro. Then we're gonna wrap it up with MLB, baby. It's getting hot, so we'll be right back. Here's a message for you. You might need this. So listen.
Yo, what's good, everybody? This is K Boogie here with your food for positive thoughts on the 3-point conversion with our boy, Mr. Controversy and Rue. Simple, plain, and easy this week. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of all of the things that you have been doing to accomplish and go after your dreams. I'm proud of you for going to the gym. I'm proud of you for getting started on that regimen. I'm proud of you for making that investment. I'm proud of you for saving that money. I'm proud of you for not going out to emotionally buy an item when you weren't feeling your best. You decided and showed discipline to save that money and use it for something that's going to get you closer to your goal. I just want to tell you all that I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for existing. I'm proud of you for making the choice to be a better version of yourself. There's nothing wrong with doing that. There's nothing wrong with loving on yourself. There's nothing wrong with doing right for yourself. I just want to tell you that K Boogie is proud of you. Go out there and keep winning and keep being the best version of you. Remember, you're equipped. You can do this. Let's go. I'll see you next week. Peace.
Right. Appreciate that, K Boogie, man. I'm proud of myself too. You know, I think I am, man. Appreciate that, man. All right. Your sport, MLB. We here talking MLB. And let's quickly go through this these standings. We got Baltimore Orioles. They're right now they have a 2.5 game lead over Tampa Bay. So it's still, I mean, anything can happen. But they didn't left the Blue Jays though. So it's a wrap for that. And American League Central, you got the Twins, Minnesota Twins, 7.5 games of lead over Guardians, whatever. And then in the AFC West, the American League West. This is close right here, Rue. I'm gonna let you speak on this. Astros have a 1-game lead over the Rangers and Mariners. But again, Rangers got that big blow today with Max Scherzer not being available for the rest of the season. What do you think is going to happen, man?
I think experience is going to win out in this division. They have the best manager. They had the best team and are defending champs, Astros. But Texas is hot. They've won 4 in a row, and they haven't probably won 4 in a row since June. So, but they had that big blow today in Seattle. You know, I think they're falling off a bit. The last 10, the month of August, these guys was like 28-3. I want to say 28. It was crazy. It was crazy, like 26-3, something like that.
Right.
September, they fallen off a little bit. You know, losers of they last, I think out of 10, they've lost like 3 or 4. 6 or 7 out of the last 10. So, no, I think Houston wins, though. Dusty could get it done.
Okay. National League East, you got the Braves, of course. They clinched already.
Over with.
Yeah, they clinched the playoff spot. They didn't. I guess they're gonna clinch they should clinch the number 1 spot soon, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. That magic number is 5. They won tonight. So I think
Right.
the magic number is 5.
Right. Okay. And then we have the National League Central. We got, hey man, the Milwaukee Brewers. Now they built the lead up to 4.5 right now over the Cubs. Cubs making me mad, but and then the Reds, they have a 7-game lead, so they, it's still not over yet, but anything can happen. But right now, I got to look at the schedule, see, when the Cubs play the Brewers. But Cubs come to Atlanta. Are they here now?
No, we didn't Philly. Actually, I don't know who the Braves have after Philly.
Yeah, Cubs come. I think it's this week. Tomorrow it starts, whatever, I believe. Not tonight. Yeah, tomorrow. And then you have the West, National League West. Dodgers has that wrapped up. Wild card. In American League, you have the Rays. They got the number 1 spot of the wild card, and they're up 8.5 games, so they're good. Then you got the Rangers and Mariners, of course, tied, and then Blue Jays is a half a game behind them. So, that's going to be tough right there. We'll see what happens with that. And then the National League, you have the Phillies have a 3-game lead over the team trying to get in, which is the Giants. Cubs have a 1.5 game lead. And then, like I said, the Giants are 1 game back from making a wild card. Reds are 1 game from making a wild card. The Marlins on 1.5 games from making a wild card. So that's going to be tough going into that. So we'll see what happens with that. But real quick, any trades? You think any big trades happening?
I don't see any more. Well, with the deadline, no.
So the deadline hadn't passed yet, Dad.
Yeah. August 1st.
Oh, it did. No, not the trade deadline. You know how when you could do for the.
You talking about the waiver deadline for
waiver
the playoffs?
deadline. Right, I'm saying the waiver. I'm saying not trades. But the waiver.
No, I think when the Angels unloaded Renfroe and Randall Grichuk and all those guys, Ronaldo Lopez, I was sort of go ahead and get your guys in for the playoffs. That was like the last little. No, I don't see it now.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. So hey man, we hadn't had one in a second, man. We need a rules tape, bro. What you got?
Oh man, so take it how you want it. But Matt Olson, what he's doing right now for this Atlanta Braves team is phenomenal, bro. And I know a lot of people loved Freddie. A lot of people didn't want to see Freddie go. But what Matt Olson is doing, and I said it back then, this kid is going to be better than Freddie. His production is already there, and he's 7 years younger. Now he's about to go for his next home run to be the most in Braves history with 52. I remember in 2005 when Andrew Jones hit 51, and I know Matt Olson remembers too because he was right here in Atlanta like me, the same age, 11 years old, Braves fan. So I know he remembers it. So his next home run is very special to me, to the Braves. This kid is this guy, he's my age. This guy, bro, is he's the man. Because he went on a slump about 2 weeks ago. A week or 2 weeks ago, where he hadn't hit a home run in 18 games. He just exploded. He was sitting on 42, 43 for the longest. He's hitting 9 in less than 8 games. Like it's kind of crazy what he's doing right now. So shout out to Matt Olson, man. My take is everybody who didn't want to see Freddie go, said it was a bad move, said, why would you trade this after their championship? Anthopoulos knows what he's doing, and we snagged him from this team right here. So shout out to Matt Olson, man.
What do you think? Like, because how many games are left? You have what?
We got 18 games left. He can go for. He's going 60 plus.
Okay,
there's 18 games left. So
right. So
17 after the night.
So did
you hit one tonight? And it's almost like a home run. You got to check to see if this guy hit one. Hold on.
Did he hit one?
Did he? No, that was Riley. Riley hit a 2-run bomb. Okay. But it's like you got to check now.
Yeah. So like you said, man, it's good. I know we got to go. Before we go, man, what's on my mind? You have you been keeping up with Winning Time?
I haven't watched it. Like
you got to keep up with it. Yeah, you got to keep up with it. It's going good, bro. So I don't want to spoil for anyone. I'll spoil for you, whatever. But it's about to get real good now. You know what I'm saying? So I just say it's just at the moment where they're about to play the Boston Celtics. So you already know, like, they've been showcasing Bird for the longest and everything. So can't wait. See what happens. But hey, this is, like I said, it's been good, bro. Y'all need to watch that. But hey, man.
Yeah, definitely gonna check it out.
So look, we got to wrap up the show. To go, but we got to let you go. And like I said, I know Rules Braves, they doing their thing and everything, but I'm just rooting for my Cubs, man. And my Bears got to bounce back. Like I said, I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad. This is first week. Everybody look. I don't care what team you had or what's your team. If they look horrible, even if the Bengals, when the Giants got whooped by 40 points on national TV, they're like, all right, I'm good. Well, at least that wasn't us. You know what I'm saying? Like that was embarrassing.
Look at Kadarius Toney. Even he pointed it out.
Right. He shouldn't have, but even he can say it right. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I get it, but hey, man, like I said, but look, you hear this music, you already know what it means. It means it's time to let you go. And before we let you go, we have a couple of shout outs, man. And stay tuned because you might be a part of it. First off, I want to give a shout out to the Almighty God for giving me this platform to do what I do, say what I say, make you all upset, mad, want to give me the stop it button. God, I appreciate it. God, man, it's crazy, like I said, what's going on and everything, man. So, also, I want to give a shout out to my guy, Rue. Rue, go ahead, bro. Appreciate you, like always.
Oh, yeah, man. Always fun in the 3-point conversion sports lounge, man. Y'all have a great week. Hey, football's back, and I got that itch. Man, I woke up this morning like, man, ain't no football. I got mad, man. I'm like, man, Tuesdays and Wednesdays about to be hard, bro. Yeah. Monday what we got, Monday Night Football is Thursday night. I'm waiting like a kid at the candy store.
That's what we here for on Wednesdays. You know what I'm saying? To provide that entertainment and everything for that fix. So yeah, I feel you, man. Also, I want to give a shout out to Vincent Defense Jewel. We appreciate you coming on. Like always, man. We want to appreciate K Boogie for going on and giving us that word. Like always, we want to shout out Ortho Atlanta, for being a sponsor and looking out for us, and and of course, shout out to Dr. Fowler, man. And again, congrats,
Doc,
baby, and everything. So great to see whatever. Also, I want to shout out my lovely wife, beautiful children, my aunties, uncles. Happy birthday, Aunt Marietta. For my aunties, uncles, nieces, nephews, brothers, sisters, cousins, play cousins, my grandma, grandparents. Hey, man, love our family. Let family know that you love them. Love them while they can still feel it. Love them while they're still alive. Make sure you eat good, drink responsibly, be safe, watch some sports like football. And until then, next week, same time, same show, same crazy host, same sports nonsense. When you miss me, I'm out. Peace.